European Union collapse. How Europe is becoming poorer than America's poorest states. Watch this until the end, because what you're about to hear sounds impossible, but it's already happening. Right now, parts of Europe, once the richest, most stable region on Earth, are quietly falling behind. Not China, not India, not even emerging markets, but the poorest states in the United States. Mississippi, Alabama, West Virginia, places Europeans used to look down on, now, in some ways, are outperforming parts of the European Union. And the scariest part, this is not a temporary crisis. This is a systemic shift, and it's accelerating. Welcome back to Mindful Minds and Money. I'm Felix. Today's video is not just about economics. It's about the slow transformation of a continent, a system that once promised stability, prosperity, security, now facing pressures from every direction, because behind the headlines, behind the speeches, behind the narratives, there is a reality forming. Europe is stagnating, the US is pulling ahead, and global competition is intensifying. So, by the end of this video, you'll understand why some analysts are asking, is Europe entering a long-term economic decline? The comparison that shocked analysts. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. GDP per capita, one of the clearest indicators of economic strength. And in several parts of Europe, income levels are now comparable to, or even below, the poorest US states. Let that sink in. We're not comparing Paris to New York. We're comparing entire EU economies to Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas. For decades, these states represented the bottom of American economic performance. Yet now, the gap between them and parts of Europe is shrinking. Why this matters? This is not just about numbers. It's about living standards, opportunity, future growth. Because once a region falls behind, catching up becomes exponentially harder. The productivity problem. At the core of this shift is one word: productivity. The United States has been increasing productivity faster than Europe for years. Why? The American advantage, dominance in technology, massive capital investment, faster innovation cycles, flexible labor markets. The result? Higher output per worker, higher wages, faster economic growth. Europe's struggle. Europe, on the other hand, heavier regulation, slower tech scaling, fragmented markets, lower risk-taking, which leads to slower productivity growth, lower competitiveness, the tech gap. Look at the biggest companies shaping the future: AI, cloud computing, software, chips. Almost all of them are American. This matters more than people realize, because tech drives productivity, and productivity drives wealth. Energy, the turning point. Now we reach one of the most critical turning points: energy. Because modern economies run on one thing: affordable, reliable energy. And this is where Europe made decisions that had deep consequences. The green transition, idealism versus reality. Europe positioned itself as a global leader in climate policy, with carbon pricing, strict emissions targets, environmental regulation, accelerated transition to renewables. The intention? Reduce emissions and lead the world. But the execution came with costs. The cost of going first. Transitioning too fast in a competitive global system creates a problem. You increase costs before others do, and in a global economy, that matters a lot. For businesses, this means higher electricity prices, compliance costs, regulatory complexity. And businesses don't operate on ideals, they operate on margins. Germany, the warning signal. Nowhere is this clearer than in Germany. Germany from industrial giant to warning case. Germany was Europe's economic engine, a manufacturing powerhouse, a global export leader. Then came a critical decision. Shut down nuclear power, the nuclear exit. After Fukushima, Germany accelerated its nuclear shutdown. The plan: replace it with renewables. But renewables come with challenges: intermittency, storage limitations, dependence on weather. What happened next? To compensate, Germany relied more on gas, coal, imports. And when geopolitical tensions hit, energy prices surged, the electricity shock. Today, European electricity prices, especially in Germany, are among the highest in developed economies. For industry, this is devastating because energy is one of the largest costs in manufacturing. Compare this to the US. In the United States, energy is cheaper, supply is abundant. Regulation is lighter, which means lower production costs, higher competitiveness. The global energy game. Now zoom out, because this is not just a Europe story. It's a global competition, two different strategies. While Europe accelerated its green transition, other major economies took a different path. China and India approach. Countries like China and India continued expanding coal power, prioritized energy security, focused on industrial growth, not because they ignore environmental concerns, but because they sequence priorities differently. The result, they maintain lower energy costs, stable supply, industrial competitiveness, the competitive imbalance. This creates a fundamental imbalance because Europe increases costs. Competitors maintain lower costs, and in a global market, that gap determines everything. Industry doesn't wait. Manufacturing begins to move, gradually, silently, but consistently. The industrial exodus. This is already happening. European companies are investing abroad, expanding in the US, relocating production. Why? Because survival comes first. If producing in Europe becomes too expensive, production moves. The dangerous part. Once industry leaves, it doesn't come back easily because you lose supply chains, skilled workers, infrastructure, the human cost. This is not just about corporations, it's about people. When factories close, entire communities feel it. Jobs disappear, local economies weaken, small businesses suffer. The domino effect. Less industry means less tax revenue, more government spending, more pressure on public finances. The welfare state under strain. Europe's welfare systems depend on strong economies, but with slower growth, aging populations, rising costs, the system is under pressure. Demographic reality. Europe is aging faster than many other regions, which means fewer workers, more retirees, higher costs, debt, and stagnation. Many European countries face high debt, low growth, rising interest rates, a dangerous combination. The US pulls ahead. Meanwhile, the US continues to invest heavily, innovate rapidly, attract capital. Even poorer states benefit from federal support, internal mobility, lower energy costs, the social pressure building. Economic stress leads to political tension, social division, public frustration, and history shows this can escalate. Can Europe recover? This is the key question, and the answer is complicated. Why recovery is hard. Rebuilding industrial strength requires cheap, stable energy, skilled workforce, investment, time, a lot of time. Realistic timeline. If Europe wants to reverse this trend, it could take 1 generation, or even 2. The strategic lesson. The global economy is not coordinated. It's competitive. If one region moves faster than others, in regulation, in costs, in policy, without alignment, it risks losing competitiveness. So when you hear, Europe is stagnating, industry is leaving, growth is slowing, this is not random. This is structural. Europe is not collapsing overnight. This is slower, more subtle, more dangerous, a silent shift from economic powerhouse to struggling competitor. So, ask yourself, are we watching a temporary slowdown or the early stages of a historic decline? If you made it this far, you already see what most people don't. Subscribe to Mindful Minds and Money because the next few years will change everything. And trust me, this story is just getting started. Stay awake, stay aware. I'm Felix. See you next time.